What's that, Edward?
He said he feels like that Netanyahu has done this to stay in power, and I said it's pretty much guaranteed that this is why he's doing this.
Hmm? I could care less how many people die as a result on the Israeli side or the Iranian. It's all about self-interest. Sad.
I don't really agree, and I think the important distinction is that the US is fully intimately involved with this, and even if Netanyahu was out, all of the plans in the Middle East would continue because Israel's psychotic, ambitious empire plans in the region completely align with America's imperial plans. So every operation should be considered as a US-Israeli operation. There's not really any daylight between them, and it's kind of irrelevant. These, I believe, are political theatre when we describe, it's Bibi trying to gain power, it's Trump trying to negotiate. It's all lies, all for the public. The plans are much bigger than that. The US is intimately involved with the British and the French imperial powers as well. This is a grand chessboard, and the individual players on the board are just there for theatre and for the public to make the speeches and so on. Actual geopolitical policy is much bigger.
Your voice is too low the way around. Can you come close to your mic?
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to explain the larger plans, and the larger plans are, as typically with all geopolitical struggles, you'll have power blocks, and the West is obviously one power block, China is another power block, Russia is its own weird, awkward power block that's trying to work with both sides, and the Middle East has traditionally been a hot spot for geopolitical power because of its resources as well, and vital to major trade routes through the Suez Canal, and on the other side, the Iran side, the Strait of Hormuz, both of which are vital for shipping as well as, more important, oil. And as the power balance in the world shifts towards the east, more and more oil trade is now going eastwards through the Strait of Hormuz, where traditionally there was more heading west through the Suez Canal into Europe. Europe is not as important anymore. Asia is now far more important economically and trade-wise than Europe. And so there's a power dynamic happening behind the scenes. So it's a struggle for the West to maintain control over the Middle East and Africa, with all of its resources and trade routes, whereas Iran is aligned more with Russia and China now than ever. And so there's enormous strategic importance to controlling the region. And that's the same as what Israel's goals are. Israel is its own demented psychopathic entity that wants more and more power across the world. And specifically, it has a greater Israel project that it has spelled out numerous times, and is in the process of colonizing one country after another of its neighbors in that process. And that completely aligns with the US and the Western European powers because it fits with their strategy in the region.
I couldn't agree more. That's actually a really great assessment, Ralph. I wish that people would see it. But do you feel like this could turn into a proxy war? We do see that Russia, China, Iranian alliance is on one end, and then we see the alliances between Israel and the U.S. strategically. And we also see that obviously a lot of times these superpowers tend to align with countries that may not be superpowers to weaken their opponent, like such as if Russia gets involved, which is very dangerous if that happened. I mean, we don't want to have this is how world wars become world wars. It would be in their interest, I guess, because they also know that this is going to be the U.S. Spending giving a lot of military aid. That would weaken that would actually limit how much military aid will go to Ukraine. Because yes, the U.S. has a military